first with telling the story of the tradition. To go over to what we see around us. Okay? I want you to open the brochure from its inner side, the Gospel according to Luke.
Luke 24.
Okay?
Michal, is this a church that we're in right now?
What?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Is this a church
Yeah.
Yes.
You might get out.
that they
Yes.
use?
I don't say anything. I don't say anything.
They
I want you to
use.
sit there, not behind me. I want to see you.
I am.
It's an open shoot.
Yes, we are sitting in a church in Emmaus, Nicopolis. There are different phases that we see here, okay? But I don't speak about it yet. First of all, I'm going to speak about the tradition, okay? I'm going to read from the Gospel. You can read it from the brochure. Just a minute. This one, yes. That very day, two of them were going to a village named Emmaus, about a 60 stadia from Jerusalem. What is it?
160.
But it's written 60.
In the brochure, it's 160.
But in my book, it's written 60.
Let's go with the book then.
This is Catholic, maybe other version.
This is also good. This is a version which everybody uses.
So 60.
So what do you say? Somebody is wrong?
No,
you make it on
different.
You make it on purpose.
Okay. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. That very day, two of them were going to a village named Emmaus, I stay with the 60, about a 60 stadia from Jerusalem, and talking with each other about all these things that had happened. While they were talking and discussing together, Jesus himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were kept from recognizing him. And he said to them, "What is this conversation which are you holding with each other as you walk?" And they stood still, looking sad. Then one of them, named Cleophas, answered him, "Are you the only visitor to Jerusalem who does not know the things that have happened there in these days?" And he said to them, "What things?" And they said to him, "Concerning Jesus of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before God and all the people, and how our chief priests and rulers delivered him up to be condemned to death and crucified him. But we had hoped that he was the one to redeem Israel. Yes, and beside of all this, it is now the third day since this happened. Moreover, some women of our company amazed us. They were at the tomb early in the morning and did not find his body. And they came back saying that they had even seen a vision of angels who said that he was alive. Some of those who were with us went to the tomb and found it just as the woman had said. But him they did not see. And he said to them, "Oh, foolish men and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken. Was it not necessary that the Christ should suffer these things and enter into his glory?" And beginning with Moses and all of the prophets, he interpreted to them all the scripts with the things concerning himself. So they drew near to the village to which they were going. He appeared to be going further, but they constrained him, saying, "Stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day is now far spent." So he went in to stay with them. Then he was at table with them. He took the bread and blessed and broke it and gave it to them. And their eyes were opened and they recognized him. And he vanished out of their sight. They said to each other, "Did not our hearts burned within us while he talked to us on the road, while he opened to us the scriptures. And they rose that same hour, and returned to Jerusalem. And they found the 11 gathered together, and those who were with them, who said, "The Lord has risen indeed, and has appeared to Simon." Then they told what happened on the road, and how that was known to them in the breaking of the bread. Okay? This is the story and basically the tradition that identifies this place as Emmaus, the place where these two men who were walking along the street, along the road, met Jesus. And why this story is so important? And why does the story of Emmaus is connected with the resurrection? Because in Second Temple times, and we're talking about Jesus' times and Second Temple times, we're talking about a time where if you would come to witness in a court about something that happened, it means that if it was a witness of a woman, does not consider. If it's a witness of a child, does not consider. If it's a witness of a fool, it's not considered. If it's a witness of one man on his own, it's not considered. In order to consider a witness, you need to have two men, not three, two men, to be witness for some event or something that happened. And then it means that it's eligible to be on court in Second Temple times. And this is the time that we're speaking of. And it's not by a coincidence, because Maria Magdalene, saw the tomb empty. She went to speak about it with disciples, nobody believed her. And then afterwards, it was Peter who went to see it, yes, and he said, yes, the tomb is empty, but nobody believed him. It was only when it needed two men who did not know Jesus. It means that they weren't some of his believers or his disciples or his students, okay, that they want to know him. People didn't recognize him at all. And they walked on the road. It means that they met him in coincidence, that they were the witness for the fact that what happened? That he is risen. Thank you. This story is the proof for the fact that Jesus came alive after his death. After he died on the cross, that he resurrected. And it needed two people along the road to witness that. And it made the fact that this was a proof, okay? A proof that was strong. And at the beginning, they did not know him. And as he takes the bread, why does the minute that he takes the bread that they open their eyes? Okay, this is the symbolism of the flesh of Jesus, that he is the bread. Okay, and the minute that he opened the bread, they opened their eyes, and then he left. From that point and onwards, Jesus entered into the pantheon of those who came back after the resurrection, which were not a lot of them. Okay?
Also, this was significant for assuring the Eucharist.
Yes. Okay. Definitely.
So
definitely.
Also the apostle to know that it's very important for the future.
Definitely. But the main thing is about his resurrection. And I'm going to speak, and we will see it also later on a place that is named after the resurrection, that is connected to Emmaus. Not here, but we'll speak about it. So this is the significance of this place to Christians. It's identified to be Emmaus Nicopolis. But when we speak about Emmaus specifically, yes, we have, by the way, and you can see it also in the brochure, that Emmaus was a very important city during the Second Temple times, even during the Maccabees.
What's the meaning of Nicopolis?
So just a minute.
Okay.
The Nicopolis is the victory. Okay? But beforehand, even during Second Temple times, during the Maccabees, Emmaus was an important place. We spoke about the Battle of Emmaus with Judah the Maccabee.
Maccabee and the Maroon.
Yes. And This place was called during the Second Temple times Hamat. Hamat, from the word Ham, spring, because there were springs here. Okay, and this is why this place, it's not here in this area, this place became a very fruitful place, a place of agriculture, and a place that people were living here. Okay, so it was Hamat. It wasn't called Hamat, it was Hamatos. Okay, second Hamatos in the Hellenistic time, which is Second Temple time, Hamatos. Okay, Hamat in Hebrew refers to springs. Okay, Hamat Gader, Hamat Tveria, Hamatos. From Hamatos it became Emmaus. So in the Byzantine area, by the way, it still was a very important city, and it had a church with a cathedral. By the way, 6th century, look in the brochure, 6th century, we have Emmaus, Nicopolis, inside what? Madame Emmaus, thank you very much. It means that by the 6th century, it's already a very important place. And what do we see here? The excavations around us were exposed houses from the Roman times. There's a villa from the Roman times over here and some mosaics over here. On top of it, there is a whole area which it was in the Byzantine time a part of the cathedral that stood here. Okay? A part of the cathedral. Wait a second. So there are some Byzantine excavations over here. Wait a second. This. Okay, I'm gonna find it afterwards. I have the
Reconstruction.
I have this, yes, the report of the archaeologists. So on the top of it, there was here a Byzantine church, and it was a city during the Byzantine era, which was important. And also during the Crusaders' times, this was an important place. And what we see around us is basically a Crusaders' church. Look how it's fortified, how it's well built. The apse is turning towards east from the Crusaders' time, and it's basically built on the Byzantine ruins and also on the Roman ruins. Okay, so we have Roman, we have Byzantine, and we have Crusaders, and we are looking at the Crusaders. And if it's not enough, there's also a small church here, not here, but above us, which is from the 19th century. Okay, so we have when we're looking at Christian sites in the land of Israel, we will always look for three main periods. What is the first period? Byzantine. Thank you. Afterwards, Crusaders. And third one is what they call modern times. Not really modern times. New Age or or 19th, 20th century. Okay? And here we have it all. We have Byzantine, we have Crusaders, and we have also modern, New Age, let's say, kind of church. Okay? And on top of it, we have also Hellenistic and Roman excavations over here. Okay? Now let's go for the fun part.
The community of the Vedic groups.
I know it's in Hebrew, but it will be good enough. Look at this. This is the road between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Okay? Or we can say more accurately, Jaffa and Tel Aviv. Okay? This is the area of Emmaus, Nicopolis, and this is Jerusalem. You see two main roads. You see road number 1, which is, it's an ancient road, but today we call it road number 1. Okay? We have also an ancient road which goes via road number 443, Ma'ale Beit Choron. Remember Nebi Samuel area? Ma'ale Beit Choron. Okay? So we have two roads going to Jerusalem. And now I want to go back to the question of 60 or 160. Because we do have 4 different identifications to the location of Emmaus from the New Testament. 4 different places that are considered to be the original Emmaus. We have Emmaus Nicopolis, which is about 32 kilometers from Jerusalem, where we are at now. We have another three. We have Emmaus that is identified in the middle of the village of Abu Ghosh, about 11 kilometers from Jerusalem. Okay, 60 stadia. This is 160 stadia. This is 60 stadia.
And this is in Motza,
And we have another
Kobebe
two.
and
One
Motza.
is at Al Kubebe, near to Nebi Samuel,
And
which is also 60 stadia away from Jerusalem.
You mean a church? Or
Yes.
Church and everything, and the whole thing.
Mostly.
Okay. And another identification
Motza.
that we know from the history books
Motza.
in the area of Motza, which is about 6 kilometers from Jerusalem. Now, why do we have so many identifications? Because it's not that my book was wrong and you were right. It's not the opposite. We have different versions of the New Testament. In different versions, we have different numbers. We have a version that is talking about Emmaus of the 60 stadia. And we have a version that's talking about Emmaus of 160 stadia. What do we do? That's us. Why we
To the
do.
Old Testament, which one was much
So
better?
where is the oldest one? The oldest version that we have of the New Testament was found in Santa Catarina. It's called
Egypt.
Codex Sinaiticus in the
That's
monastery
in
of
Egypt.
Santa Catarina.
Sina.
Yeah.
And
Saba.
what is written in the Codex Sinaiticus?
16.
160.
Ah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
then
So
this
it's
is
really,
more
but we cannot know. We cannot know. So we know that we have 1660 according to one version of the New Testament. We have 160 according to other version. We have also this 6 kilometers away from Jerusalem, Motza. You know where it's written that is a place that is identified as Emmaus Nicopolis? Josephus Flavius is writing that the area of Colonia, Motza, is considered to be Emmaus, and it's sacred for the Christians. That's what, not for the, no, it's not, it didn't say sacred for the Christian. It's sorry. It's considered to be Emmaus, okay, because he couldn't say it's sacred for the Christians, but he said that this is considered to be Emmaus.
Isn't that the best proof?
What?
Isn't that the best proof?
No.
That would be the right Emmaus?
Okay, you know Josephus Flavius.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't know him personally, but
We already know him.
Which is the Emmaus from the market?
He tends to give a good explanation.
it
That's
seems
good.
like most of the things that he says keep on being corroborated, even like the Siloam pool, for example.
But what will you do when the original text is talking about 160? And there's another text talking
Because
about
if one
60.
text says 160, one says 60,
Yeah,
one
but,
could say 6,
uh,
one could say 10.
but-
Clearly, maybe something was rubbed off. Somebody
Okay,
No.
so first of all, we have a text, a holy book versus a history book.
Where was
Yeah,
the
but-
Battle of
That's the
Emmaus?
first thing. Second of all, I'm not here to determine, even though I'm going to give you a hint to what I think. But eventually, the tradition place it in all these three places, and in Motza Colonia, there is no church and no nothing. Okay? As a matter of fact, there is a consideration that's saying the following thing, that maybe Josephus Flavius described Colonia as the 30 stadia away from Jerusalem, but because it was such a huge territory, it went all the way down to the area of Emmaus. Okay? So maybe he referred to this area exactly, but it was included in the 30
What
stadia.
was the area, the other area in between? The third option you gave?
Okay.
Nicopolis.
We have
Abu
Emmaus
Ghosh.
Nicopolis Latron.
Right.
We have Abu Ghosh. We have Al Kubebe,
Al-Qudsi.
near to Nebi Samuel. And we have Colonia.
Where was the Battle of
Motza.
Emmaus?
What?
Where was the
Here.
Battle of Emmaus?
In this
The
area.
Battle of Emmaus was behind us on the
Which one of those
on the
sides?
tel, on the ancient
This
tel,
one.
where Bakrides was up.
But here, this side.
Yes.
Closest to this side.
Yes.
Because then this is the
Yeah.
side.
Okay. By the way,
Follow
guys,
the-
just saying, how do we identify original places today?
Description.
Article 14.
The name continuing.
Thank you. Remember Bab el Amud?
Yes.
Okay? Bab el Amud preserves the fact that 2,000 years ago there was a column. So where would we find the word, the name Emmaus in the area?
Inscription.
No.
As Abraham said, in
Where is
the Old
there's an
Testament.
Arab village called Emmaus right nearby. Okay? Okay, now the Arab village is from the 16th or the 15th century, okay, but it's still a preservation of an early name. Okay? So this is why I tend to think that this is a place. But again, this is my own.
They maintain the name.
What?
They maintain the name. People.
Again, yes, it's the fact that it's an identification of all things. Just like Bab el Amud, the same thing. It's a very good method to use to understand places for you, okay? Great. So,
But was Josephus, he was concerned more with the Jewish history rather than.
okay.
Yeah.
It's a very
No.
good question. It's
Just,
a very good question.
yeah.
No. I want to keep up the thing with Josephus. Why? Because today we're going to visit in Emmaus of the 30 Stadia. This is the Church of Resurrection of the Benedictine Monastery in Abu Ghosh. Okay, I told you that we're going to visit Olivier.
Yes.
That's the 60 study.
Olivier lives in a monastery, and the church is called the Church of Resurrection. It's supposed to be the Church of Resurrection of the 30 Stadia, but it's not. Okay, I'm kidding. I'm saying, but there is an archaeological finding in the area of the church, which connects us straight to the time of Mozza Colonia and Josephus. So it gives us some kind of an understanding why maybe Josephus refers to this while mistakenly talking about that. Okay, I'm gonna speak about what will be there. Yes.
The Abu Ghosh is 60 stadia or 30? I thought you said 60.
30.
No. Mozza is 30.
Yeah. Mozza is.
Abu
Michael.
Ghosh 60.
Mike.
And this is 160.
Latrun 116. You need to know it.
Yeah. So,
According to
so Abu Ghosh is 60, not 30.
Catholic bijou. Bijou?
Guys, now I have a question, really interesting question.
Right.
Question. If you go from the area of the coastal plain to Jerusalem via 443,
443.
the road is much nicer. You have Ma'ale Bet Horon, you have one ascending, and then you're going down to Jerusalem mildly and nicely, and you don't have to go like this. Where do we go like this?
Road number 1.
Road number 1. Awful, right? Awful road. Goes all the time like that. Horrible.
Get stuff behind the truck.
I'm asking the question. If in the ancient times, in the Roman times, this road was the main road, why? Because physically, geographically, it's much easier to go on that road. How come that the main road along the history that became the main road was the awful road? Makes sense that this would be the main road.
People want to feel it.
It is.
This is not really straight. It's like this one is much easier.
It is. It is faster,
Pilgrim.
shorter.
No, it's not shorter. It's not faster when you're with people, with the delegation, like people, with horses, with donkeys. So it's awful.
Because it's known by the people, the easiest one.
No. This was known always as the easiest
You
one.
need to suffer and
There are stops they can rest, etc.
The what?
They can stop and rest in many places.
They're all the same.
The same.
This is much easier than this one. This is like this and like this.
It's like a
Guys, it's not this one. I'm telling you, this is the shorter and this is the easiest.
Importance to the Christians, you mean?
Thank you very much. Very good. Okay, think about it. Within the past, I think 10 to 15 years, the state of Israel has invested, I think, $11 billion in renovating road number 1. This is the main road. But when you're asking why this became the main road, and it's not only today. When the Crusaders came here, they built citadels all around this road, not around that road.
Yeah.
Okay?
But it's also
So it's even in the 12th century, it was already the main road. What does it mean? It means that somewhere along the time, people came to Jerusalem, pilgrims came to Jerusalem. They did not care for going through the easiest road or the shorter road. They wanted to follow the sacred geography of Jesus. They wanted to go through the footsteps of Jesus, okay? And if they are going through his footsteps, they will go on the longer road. And after the pilgrims came the merchants, right? And after the merchants came all the other people. And all the infrastructure along this road became stronger and much more, easy. And this is how it became the main road. And after that, the Crusaders fortified all of this road. The Castel and Chemet, the Crusaders church that we're going to visit today. Okay, everything is along this road. And this road was just forgotten, even though it's the easiest road. Okay? And up until today, we have to do all of this because
How do you do it?
because of the Christian tradition of Emmaus. We have to do this because I have a problem with balance, so I definitely feel it. By the way, Al-Kubaybe, okay, another thing is that if Josephus Flavius identifies this in the Roman period, and these were identified mostly in the Byzantine era, okay, this was the first one, this was the second one, but during the Crusaders' times, it had also a very important Crusaders church, as it was also over here. Al-Kubaybe, the identification of Al-Kubaybe is later on. It's from the 16th century by the Franciscans, which, when the pilgrims had it, it was easy for the pilgrims to go from that road because of with the Muslim regime. They identified another Emmaus
The
in the area
battle
of
was
Kubaybe.
here. The Battle of Emmaus
Yes,
was
that
here.
was,
Yes.
How do we know that the Battle of Emmaus was here? What remains?
How do we know? Because we have first of all we have the Sefer of the Maccabees that explain us places, okay, and we have a lot of excavations in Park, Canada, that
tombs.
Elaborates.
findings from the times
Okay,
of
so
the
we know the battle
Maccabees.
was here, but the city of Emmaus that we've spoken about in the New Testament could have been somewhere else.
No. This is the city that was very important also during the battle of the Maccabees. You understand?
No, I understand. So this was the city of the Battle of the Maccabees, for sure.
Yes.
That the
Emmaus,
Christian
yes.
tradition
Yes.
of where this meeting took place.
No, specifically here is the Roman area.
Yeah.
And the Maccabees time, the city was a little bit, the Hellenistic time, the city was a little bit above us.
Okay, I understand that, but what I'm asking is the Christian tradition of this meeting, of where Jesus met with the two travelers. Could have been here, could have been Motza, could have been other places.
Yes.
So Emmaus, the question of where it took place might not be connected with the name of the city Emmaus.
Because of the tradition is identified in different places.
Yes.
But it's written Emmaus in the New Testament. And
So
since you have also the exact location of Emmaus in the Madaba map, and also you have an identifications to Emmaus from the Hellenistic period and the Roman period, so you definitely know. And this was a very important city because of the springs. So that there were a lot of cities like that.
And these graves, or these tombs, or
These are tombs from I think either Maccabees or Hellenistic.
First century.
Hellenistic. In Roman. Yeah.
As for
Could I ask a question about the architecture?
Yes.
I noticed this church has no images, no art, no icons. Is that
it is in ruins.
Is that a French thing?
First of all, we're not sitting
Called
in a
rain
church, we're
and
sitting in a ruin.
No, that's not. That's not an altar.
Yes.
It is. No, just a minute. But this is just the ruins of a Crusaders church. What the local community did here is that they based off an altar without decoration or something because it's in an excavation site. Okay, so people can have ceremonies here. Why is it? Because there is a small church here, but it belongs to the community. It's Catholic. Okay, it's not really Catholic. It's their own way of, but it's Catholic in their way. It's a mix, but it does not serve pilgrims. If pilgrims come to and they want to do some service, some worshiping, they will do it over here. Okay, so this is it's the ruins of a church. Okay, but its functions.
But for the local Christians, especially the Catholic, okay. So we accept because every year the Franciscans celebrate Monday after Easter, celebrate Mass at Kubebe.
Yes.
So they commemorate this Emmaus in Kubebe.
Of course. They commemorated in Kubebe. Interesting.
Because that's what they established as the...
Not established, because they have excavations happened there also.
I'm going to let you guys figure it
It's in the West Bank, so it's not possible to reach it.
By the way, there was a huge conflict. There was a conflict between the Franciscans and Louis Villet. You know, Louis Villet, the one who established here the church. The Franciscans could not bear the idea that a place like that is considered to be a mouse, and also here, is not under their
authority. Yes.
Okay, and there was a huge conflict. This is why Minzar Shetkanim, Therapist Monastery, is not called after a mouse, because Louis Villet, in a certain point, didn't want to make them so angry. Okay, and that is why maybe the connection to Kubebe.
Yeah. But you know, at the end, it's not important the place for me. For Christians.
No, I'm just saying there was a quality.
Because we celebrate it
just a little
always.
bit about this place and we go up. As we're sitting down, guys, listen up. Over here, the Carmelite order has purchased this place, this territory, in the late 19th century. Okay. There was a very well-known woman called Miriam Bawardi. She's considered saint in the Catholic Church. And Miriam Bawardi, according to, she went through a very, very difficult life. She was almost murdered, and then she was survived it, and she had a revelation of Mother Mary come and saving her. But Miriam Bawardi, in a certain point, when there wasn't excavations over here, and there was time and it wasn't understood where was the real Emmaus, she had a dream over Jesus coming to her and tell her, this is the place of Emmaus. And that is why she pushed the Carmelite order to purchase that territory, and also the territory behind the road number 1, and she gave it afterwards to the Trappists. Not she, but the Carmelites gave it afterwards to the Trappist order, okay? So it belongs to the Carmelites, but the Carmelites don't live here, okay? This place is under the supervision of, and the management of a small Christian community, which is called
Beatitudes.
The Sons of Beatitudes, okay? The Sons of Beatitudes, and it's really interesting. We're going to speak about monastic congregations, not congregations, sorry.
Charismatic
community.
Charismatic community.
So the Sons of Beatitudes, they don't represent anything in the monastic world, okay? They only represent themselves. Why? Because they are very, very interesting kind of group. Let's go up to see the church, okay? And we're going to speak about it in front of the modern church.
But
the new.
But they are not monks nor priests. They are a charismatic community.
Exactly.
Do they consider themselves monks?
No. It's a group, community of lay persons and
Can I just say one thing?
people, priests.
I have to tell you all, I'm very disturbed by the fact that I don't think we're providing proper respect to the Jewish Roman historian. You guys are all calling him by his first name. I would like to suggest that we call him Mr. Cephas as opposed to calling him Joe.
What?
Mr. Jesus.
We did not finish with Josephus yet.
Mr. Cephas, please.
Mr.
No, it's Mr. Flavius.
Joe Cephas.
Joe is his first name.
And his name's not actually there. When he was born.